let's get this up and running. See, let's get some people in. Okay, let's see. Okay, guys. So let's just wait a couple minutes and we'll see what's going on. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's just get started, right? All right. So let me preface what I'm gonna say in regards to this. I do not normally, nor would I normally, say the name of a mass shooter. However, the nature of this story kind of requires me to do so at least once. But me being me, I will, attempt my best not to, but I know that while I'm reading the story, I might, just say it. And the reason is because the reason that I'll have to say it is because it goes against the left's narrative. As you can see in the title here, the Colorado shooting suspect just destroyed the left's narrative. So we're going to go through that. We're going to go through what we know so far and all of the calls for gun control that have been coming out because of this. Now, some of you might have remembered that about a week ago, a little less than a week ago, there was another mass shooting, and it was primarily against Asians, and that was a problem that not too many people jumped on. Some people did call for gun control and all that stuff. Um, but not a whole lot of, we didn't hear a whole lot from the mainstream media. This one, however, immediately, before any information came out, people were calling for, uh, they were making assumptions and wrong assumptions at that. So here, let's and go ahead and read some of the things that people just assume. So, uh, since a man opened fire in a Colorado grocery store on Monday night, killing 9 shoppers and a police officer, the left has loudly proclaimed the shooter was a white man and white supremacist. In typical fashion, they didn't wait for facts. So, here's one. Extremely tired of people's lives depending on whether a white man with an AR-15 is having a good day or not. News. We don't have information about the shooter except he was shirtless, so I guess he's white. An internal monologue. Mm, okay. Yeah. White man walked into a grocery store in Boulder, killed 10 people, and was apprehended by the police, and walked out of the building completely unharmed. Right down the street, police killed Elijah McClain while he apologized for not doing anything wrong. Um, the Associated Press said a man was taken out of the store in handcuffs by police. They didn't mention who or anything like that. Knew the Boulder shooter was white when they said he was taken alive. White male suspected shooter, at least 10 dead, AR-15. That's the tweet. Uh, Heard a shooter has been apprehended in Boulder, Colorado. Apprehended means he's white, right? My inbox and DMs are full of extremely upset white men who don't give a damn about mass shootings but are demanding I issue a blanket apology to white men. To which I say, no. Yes. Uh, hmm. The narrative came crashing down Tuesday afternoon when authorities named 21-year-old Ahmad al-Issa as the suspect. He is a refugee from Syria. Now, the way they say that makes it seem like he just moved here. No, he moved here when he was 3. So he's pretty much lived here his entire life. However, he is Islamic. he is a Muslim. His Facebook page shows him lamenting President Trump uh, won 2016 election because of racism, posting Islamic prayers and accusing Americans of being Islamophobic. He also has a history of mental health issues. So, not only is he not white, he hates Trump, and he's Muslim. Now, I'm not making a blanket statement about Muslims, but in where was it? One of these up here, I think it was yeah, like right here it said he's not a Muslim, but he is. So, what? Now, like I said, I'm not making a generalization about people uh who are Islamic and, that's their faith because I know people who are Muslims and they're great people. My point is, the assumptions that were made were completely incorrect and have a lot of the time been incorrect. They tend to the left tends to want to demonize white men for no reason, when in fact, a lot of the time it's not white men. Yes, do white men make up, I would say, probably a larger percentage of mass shooters? Probably, but that is simple statistics in the fact that was it it's like 75% of the population of the United States is white. It would stand to reason then that more of them would be white than any other you know, religion, race, ethnicity. That's just statistics, right? Now, if it was like way more, like if it was like almost 100%, then we'd be like, okay, that's why is that? But it's not. Like, so when they just assume that it's a white guy, it's kind of a problem. Anyway, so let's go back down here. Um, where was it? Where were we? Uh, blah 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 blah. Let's see. Okay, so his Facebook page was removed, but here are some of his Facebook posts. Uh, talking about Trump, he inherited a growing economy, and the unemployment rate was low. The economy was on an upward spiral. He won because of racism. Trump's such a dick. So he didn't like Trump at all, which would I would assume means that he's possibly a leftist. Who knows? I mean, we had one shooter a while ago who was verifiably a Democrat. More screenshots of this. Vice President Kamala. I don't know how you say that. I'm just gonna say how I read it. Kamala Harris, her niece, issued this response to the news. Right. I deleted a previous tweet about the suspect in Boulder in the Boulder shooting. I made an assumption based on his being taken into custody alive, on the fact that the majority of mass shootings in the U.S. are carried out by white men. I would not say a well, okay. I don't know the actual statistics, but if even if it was a majority, that could just be 51%. Or hell, it could be 40% as long as it's a bigger percentage than the other ethnicities. So I don't see how that's necessarily a I don't want to say I don't see how it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm trying to say I don't see how that's necessarily relevant. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I don't see how it's necessarily relevant because statistically, like I said, majority of the country is white. So I don't see how saying that a majority of them are blank makes a difference. Still killed people, right? Um, but so here, so that tweet I believe was just to cover her own ass because her original tweet was this. The Atlanta shooting was not even a week ago. Violent white men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country. What? What? I would probably say, um, the people who committed 9/11, ISIS, the remnants of Al Qaeda are probably the biggest threat to our country. Just saying. That's why we're fighting them in the Middle East, is it not? Okay, whatever. Usually, some assumptions about race and crime are called racism. Oh, but, leftists can't be racist, right? Black people can't be racist, right? Yeah, okay. Uh, so the Boulder shooter was a Muslim guy who was radicalized by the mainstream media's hate for Trump. This story will disappear so fast it'll make your head spin. Actually, I don't think it will. And here's why. We have gun bills that are up for vote right now. So they're going to use, it doesn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter who did it. It doesn't matter what they used. They're going to use every excuse possible to want to ban guns. So it really doesn't matter that he was a Syrian refugee. It doesn't matter that he wasn't white. It doesn't matter what his ideology was. He shot people with I can't I haven't confirmed this, but from the reports I've seen, they say it looked like an AR-15. So I'm just going to say AR-15 because guess what? The media is going to probably say AR-15, and then they're going to go after everything that even looks like an AR-15. So doesn't really matter, does it? It never really matters. That's the point. So anyway, okay. So here's a Fox News story. The Colorado mass shooter, the suspect, was known to the FBI. Huh, big shocker there. The suspected gunman who killed 10 people in a mass shooting this week was previously known to the FBI, according to a report. Huh, interesting. Hmm, where have we heard this before? Oh, right. Like three or four other shootings? I, it boggles my mind that the proponents of gun control sit here and say, "Oh, the only people who should have guns are law enforcement. They're the only ones that are going to come and save you." But I believe it was Stoneman Douglas, the one in Florida, the officer that was there did fucking nothing. Did nothing. He literally sat outside afraid of his own fucking shadow and did nothing. His whole purpose for being the school resource officer was to prevent something like that. I'd say he fucking failed pretty well. And then the backup officers that arrived sat outside and did nothing. In this instance, the fucking cops showed up, did nothing, sat there, created a perimeter, but they didn't go in, they didn't do anything for what, like half an hour. All the while, this guy could have been doing whatever. They didn't get him until what I just saw it. Uh, they didn't get him until he yelled, "I surrender, I'm naked," after he had killed the people. The police didn't do anything. All they did was show up after the fact and go, "Oh hey, he's surrendering. Let's go get him." That's it. That's all they did. The police are not there to help you. They will not help you. Even the FBI can't do their goddamn job correctly and prevent something like this, even when they have a suspect, when they have reports, when they have knowledge that somebody's going to do something like this, they just sit on it. And quite honestly, I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, how is it that every time that there's gun legislation up, whether it be pro-gun or anti-gun legislation, a mass shooting happens? Almost every single time. And what I want to know is, are the FBI intentionally doing this? Are they intentionally just sitting on their hands going, "Oh, well, we don't like guns, so we lost the file. Oh no." And then when it happens, they're like, "Oh, well, we found the file between, a desk or whatever and the wall. I don't know how it got there." Because this happens way too often for it to be coincidental. I mean, we've got this one what the FBI knew about, freaking the Stoneman Douglas one. I mean, how many times? And then what was it? I know there was at least one or two other ones where they were under surveillance for possible terroristic activities, and then they went and they shot up a place. And I can't remember who it was. So if you know, drop a comment down below and let me know because I don't remember those ones. But I remember that they happened. So it just I don't understand why it is that the gun grabbers seem to think that the police will help you when they won't go into an active shooting scene without like massive amounts of backup, giving the shooter more time to do stuff. They the Supreme Court has even ruled that the police don't have to help you. And this was a very pointed statement because I believe it was a story out of New York where a man was being assaulted by another man, and then that man tried to stab that guy, and there were two transit authority officers standing there watching this man be stabbed. He managed to survive and take down the knifeman. Then the police rolled up after the fact, went, "Oh, huh," took the guy into custody, and then they got credit for it. And that guy and the guy who got stabbed was in the ICU, in intensive care, in critical condition, because the police did not do anything because they didn't have to. He sued them, and the court ruled, hey, they didn't have to help you. So what makes you think, what you gun grabbers, what makes you think that in an instance like this, that the police are going to help you? I'm sorry, but the old adage of when seconds count, the police are minutes away, that's the truth. It's a saying for a reason. Sorry. And I'm sorry if I seem like I am angry, but I am. Because right now we have gun bills up and they might actually pass because there's so much outrage over stuff like this and they won't do anything. The bills aren't going to do anything. Like okay, let's just okay, so basically he was known by the FBI. Everybody made assumptions that he was white. He's not white. We don't know the motivations about why he did it or anything like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the CNN opinion. And I'm just gonna pick it apart because it's stupid. They don't know what they're talking about, and I'm sick of it. Once again, Americans are grieving over lives lost to another mass shooting. On Monday, 10 people, including a police officer, were killed at Boulder, Colorado. Just 6 days ago, we began mourning the deaths of 8 people killed in Atlanta. So, like many young parents, they talk about Sandy Hook Elementary and how that person shot his mother in his house and then drove to the elementary school with the AR-15 and it their standard capacity magazines to kill 26 children and educators in less than 5 minutes. None of your gun control bills would have stopped that. The background checks, the mother is the one who owned the gun, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because this one happened a while ago and I don't remember all the details. But I believe in the Sandy Hook Elementary one, uh, he he got into the safe that his mother had with the gun in it, shot his mom, who was the one who owned the gun, and then took it and did that. What would have prevented that? Safe storage laws? Well, if it was already in a safe, it was safely stored. Background checks. The mom passed the background check to get the gun in the first place. So what? An outright ban on AR-15s? Good luck with that. Many of us in the community still in shock wiped their tears and quickly mobilized to demand action. Um, they asked for, was it the Act Concerning Gun Violence Prevention and Children's Safety? Um, it quickly became heartbreakingly clear to us that the only bill that may have had a chance to pass was bipartisan plan expending background checks and proposing a ban on some semi-automatic weapons. Uh, its title included the words to protect Second Amendment rights, an olive branch to the NRA and supporters in Congress. I'm sorry, but any gun law past what we have right now is going to be pointless, ineffective, and quite honestly, the biggest stepping on our rights past the what we already have had now. So the olive branch analogy, you're not extending an olive branch to anybody. Nobody wants any of this. If you came to me and was like, "Hey man, we're gonna take your car away from you," right? And then I was like, "No, you can't take my car. What? I paid for that. That's mine. That's yeah. What right do you have to take my crap?" And then you go, "Okay, okay, okay. We're only gonna take your tires. We're just gonna jack your car up and take your tires, okay?" What am I supposed to be grateful for that? Am I supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Just take the tires. It's fine." No, it's still unusable. Screw you. It's the same crap here. Every time they institute something else, like they always say it's a compromise, but what do we get? It's always, "Oh, we're gonna take this much," and then, "Oh well, our compromise is we're only gonna take this much." What did we get? No, no, a compromise usually is both parties get something. So a compromise would be, "Oh, you want universal background checks? Then we want national concealed carry reciprocity. Oh, you want 10 limit, 10 round um limits for magazines. Okay, well then I want full auto guns, but I can only use 10 round belts at a time." Like those would be compromises. You saying we want this much and then we're only going to take this much and you get nothing? That's not a compromise. That's just you taking crap from me. Okay? Uh we swallowed hard and made a decision to support weak background check bill with NRA giveaways. Uh Sadly, in 2013, Senate Republicans blocked the bill using the filibuster, an arcane Senate rule that enables senators to block bills favored by a majority of its members. Okay, no, no, no. The filibuster prevents a simple majority from passing legislation. I'm sorry, but I don't want to live in a straight democracy where 51% of people get to tyrannize the other 48%. The whole point to the filibuster, the whole point to a two-thirds vote is so that way compromises have to be made. So that way compromises need to be talked about and agreed upon. So that way bills don't just get shoo-shooed through. Sorry, but the filibuster is literally the last line of defense right now because you guys made all these changes to it and quite honestly backfired on the Democrats because that's how we got the Supreme Court picks that Trump was able to push through because of removing uh two-thirds votes. The filibuster is like the last thing that prevents that. So no, we shouldn't get rid of that. On that dark day, America learned that a policy supported by almost 90% of the American public. No, 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 no. It's not supported by 90% of the American public. That what they link to here is a statistic that is a general question, and the question was, do you support background checks on all gun purchases? They didn't say it was universal background checks. And they didn't say that the that the only way to enforce it would be a registry. All they said was, "Hey, do you support background checks?" Yeah, 90% people are going to agree to that. But when you say universal background checks and gun registry, a lot less people are going to say they agree with that. So that is just a false framed statistic. So no. Uh and they say, "Oh, well, it can be defeated in spite of the majority of senators, 54, voting in its favor." Oh, I'm sorry. 54? 54 out of what is it? How many senators are there? There's like 100, right? 54? That is barely a majority. I'm sorry. I don't want was it 40 46? 46% of the country ruled by 54%? No, thank you. We are a democratic constitutional or sorry, we are a constitutional republic with democratic voting procedures. We're not a democracy. Stop saying we're a democracy. The year after that shameful vote, Democrats lost their Senate majority and state Republicans blocked life-saving gun bills for the following year. Uh, no, sorry. HR 8 bipartisan background check of 2019. No thanks. That is the universal background check. The Charleston loophole. No, I'm sorry. None of this would have done anything. The Charleston loophole for the shooting that just happened like a week ago, the one against the Asians. Even the police said that an additional waiting period or a background check wouldn't have done anything because what he passed the background check to get the guns. So what? I'm sorry, but no. Um, let's see. Without the House passed Thompson and Clyburn's background check bills once again, who introduced the companion bill. Without eliminating the filibuster, this legislation will require 10 Republicans to join 50 Democrats to support the bill. Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. Uh, a Herculean challenge in so partisan a political environment that 43 state Republicans refused to convict Tripp for inciting unprecedented insurrection against their nation. He didn't. That's a different story. Not going to talk about it. I'm sorry, but this whole country was founded on checks and balances. If you get rid of the filibuster, if you get rid of the 2/3 vote, it just becomes party line votes. Why on earth would we do that? That is stupid. And all your see, here's the thing. They support it now because the Democrats are in power and it's about gun control. But I almost guarantee you if it was flipped and the Republicans were talking about national reciprocity for concealed carry licenses, and the only thing standing in the way was the filibuster, and they start talking about getting rid of the filibuster, I guarantee you that the Democrats would be like, "Oh God, oh my God, let's not get rid of it. Oh no, what are we doing?" Yeah, exactly. They'd be freaking out if it was reversed. But because it supports their political ideology, it's okay, right? Okay. Uh, no thank you. The Brady background check and the assault weapons ban bills were signed into law more than 27 years ago. That's they're trying to bring that back. The assault weapons ban. We don't need that. Uh, I'm sorry, but this is just a terrible opinion. It says without ending the Senate filibuster, public safety policies with broad American support will not make it into President Biden's desk. That means we can expect more than 100 Americans to keep dying by guns every single day, and that we're likely to see more of the tragic deaths that we've seen in Atlanta and Boulder. Okay, this more than 100 American statistic is also misleading because uh, most of those are suicides and gun violence like gangs and stuff that wouldn't be prevented by taking guns. The other like 15 or so the other percentage, I think it's like 15% or well between 15% and like 20% or something like that are they include self-defense with a firearm. So like if I used my gun in self-defense and shot somebody, that's actually included in that number. So I like just the way that they frame it, they just jumble everything together and they're like, oh yeah, like how many people died by suicide? Just throw those numbers in. Yeah. Oh, he used it in self defense, but somebody died still. Throw those numbers in. I'm sorry, that's not correct. That's disingenuous, and you need to stop. You're making an argument that doesn't make sense. The filibuster is in place for a reason. Two-thirds vote is there for a reason, and getting rid of that will backfire on you the next time the Republicans take a majority. So just stop. Just, just you got like do your research, see what what constitutes actual like murders and gun deaths that could be prevented, and you'll see that it's almost none. This is a terrible opinion, and this isn't just it. Like Biden came out. What was it? I don't remember if it was today or yesterday or something. But he came out and was just like, we need to ban all AR-15s, high capacity magazines. We need to do that. And he's talking about taking executive action and all this other stuff. No thanks. No, I don't want to live in a world where one man can just be like, oh, I'm taking executive action. Bye bye. I didn't like when Trump banned bump stocks. I didn't like what Trump said about was it red flag laws. I didn't like that either. I don't like when Biden just goes, "Oh yeah, we're gonna work tirelessly to take your rights away." My point is, and this is all I'll say on this. My point is that none of these proposed gun bills that are currently in or up for vote will do anything. Universal background checks will not stop somebody who's legally able to get a gun from going and killing people. It will not stop somebody who is planning something like this from getting it if they can pass the check. The Charleston loophole crap won't stop anything either. Oh, so you change the waiting period from 3 days to 10 days. Okay? So the person who's planning these attacks just waits 10 days instead, gets the gun and goes and does it. You outright ban guns. Guess what? There are over 350 million guns out in the world or in our nation right now. You think that you're going to get rid of them by banning them? No, the criminals are going to have all these guns already. So what? You're just going to make it so I can't use a gun to protect my? No, screw you, and it won't work. So the filibuster needs to stay in place, and the filibuster needs to stay in place not just for gun stuff. Like literally anything that comes down the pipeline in the Senate, we need to keep two-thirds a thing, whether it be spending, economic, guns, First Amendment, uh, anything to do with regulations for businesses, anything that could possibly go down the pipeline needs to have checks and balances. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of them politicizing these shootings too and not addressing the real problem. The real problem is mental health and to some degree extremism, but most of the people who are susceptible to become extremists one way or another have some sort of mental issue, which is why they're easily molded to these ideologies. So we need to focus on that. We need to focus on public. Uh, Quite honestly, we need public facilities for uh, mental patients because mental health in this country is so expensive to send somebody to. I mean, you would have to be rich to send even one child, if you had a mentally ill child, to a long-term care facility. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is. So we need to stop going to war so much and allocate a lot more money to stuff like that, stuff to address the problems. Um, Another thing is people don't take responsibility for their actions anymore, and that needs to be addressed. Anyway, guys, I really hope you guys, appreciate some of the videos that I do for you guys. I really hope that you guys, watch my content and, you like it. And look, I'm not always right. So if I get something wrong, please point it out. Put it in the comments so I can make a correction. I am more than willing to address something that I said that may have been incorrect. Anyway, guys, if you like my content, you enjoy what I do, sorry I haven't posted in a while, but, real life. Um, Go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way you are notified when I post a new video and for whenever I go live. And if you guys feel so inclined, I don't make any money off these videos right now because of YouTube. You can donate to me. That's in the link down below. Anyway, guys, please like and share this video. And also, contact your representatives. Make sure they know that you don't want additional gun control, that they can't use stuff like this to push a political agenda. Alrighty, guys, peace.